Hey church, welcome and friends, welcome to Testimony Tuesday. It's great to be here again. Tuesdays seem to roll around quick, don't they? And I've got a special guest with us tonight. Got Sebastian, Seb, and some of you might know him, seen him around church, seen him and his wife and family around church. And it's just great to have him here tonight and on Testimony Tuesday. And I'm sure you are going to be in for a treat. So anyway, so Seb, it's great that you could join us. Hey, just first of all, do you want to just tell us a little about your childhood, about growing up, about some of the things that I guess happened to you in that time?
Yeah. I suppose it was just driving here, bringing back a whole lot of memories, and growing up in my house was pretty tough. We fought a lot, and my mum passed away when I was 8, so the family fell apart pretty early. But before that, there was a lot of drama with my sister being diagnosed with Down syndrome. My parents were focused on her, and my brother had sort of like wasn't schizophrenia, but it was a split personality disorder, which was just, it was horrendous, and there was a lot of turmoil, always fighting. When my mum passed away, it just sort of deteriorated. At 13, DHS came in and sort of took my brother and I away to resi care. And I remember that sort of night, as I said before, the next day I had school, so it was a crazy sort of 24 hours, and then went to school, came back, and there was nothing in my room. It had been all stolen.
So all your possessions you got out of your house, you took to resi care, went to school, everything you valued had been stolen, flogged, destroyed.
Yeah, so there was a couple of heroin addicts coming off heroin, and there was lots of different crew coming in and out of those homes, and it was an experience. And from that point, I sort of knew I had to toughen up, or just deal with this life that I was going to have to be given and dealt with. So I really struggled in high school, and I started smoking marijuana at sort of 9, slowly, but we dabbled and just kept going worse and worse, more and more different types of things. I left school, got a job. It was kind of the only thing that kept me focused on something other than drugs. Got into the party scene, just hit it hard. Started DJing. I DJed for 7 years in clubs in Melbourne, and just partied, to the full extent. There's a couple of really big things that happened during those years that sort of got me thinking about spirituality. Well, just seeing things, and we had this party, and I've just finished my set, and everyone was dancing and having a good time, and then this guy came up to me I'd never seen before, and he had 2 bottles of whiskey, and he sort of said, could you come up to the top of the hill if you want, sort of thing, and have a drink with me. I've got a fire going, it's warm, and I said, okay. So I went up the hill, and we sort of sat down. As soon as I sat down, there was this sort of cone of silence came over us. There was no talking, and he just morphed into this devil, this demon, right in front of me, and the tail and the moon was set behind him. It was pretty evil and very scary. And he just he goes, you can have all this. This could all be yours. And I just felt this urge to sort of stand up, and he just made me look over the whole thing, and I was standing on this cliff, and he said, this could all be yours, and I just felt like jumping. And at that moment, I sort of just said, well, I need to get away from this. And I sort of just put my drink down. And as I sort of left, I could feel these claws coming down from the top of my head all the way down my body. And it just scared me. And I came down to my friends and saw they all had these little horns on their heads. And I had taken LSD, but it was nothing out of the ordinary. For me at that time of my life, it was more than that. And I suppose a big moment of where my life went to was I just needed to sort of make change. I worked hard.
Tell us, I guess, you're going to get to it in a second, but tell us how God met you, how you had a realisation that, I need God in my life. Tell us a bit about how you got to that point where you gave your life to Jesus.
Well, after that experience, I sort of realised, geez, I'm losing my mind. It took 3 months to really get over that, and told a few people, but they all thought, Seb's sort of losing it a bit, and but I just worked even harder. I thought, I've got to get out of here, I've got to get out of this situation, stop DJing. slowly, and just saved up to buy a house. Sold all my DJ gear, and in one hit cut everyone off and moved up here to Phillip Island. And I happened to move next to a Christian guy. He was a pretty worldly man. He was a tough kind of guy, which I related to, and he just kept on preaching to me, and it really annoyed me at the time. I was thinking, mate, just leave me alone. I know what it's about, and he just at me, and he said I'd come along to a Youth Alive event, which was in the city, and I just saw a lot of love, and all these young guys are sort of just feeling the love of God, and it was the beginning of something, I suppose. During that time, I sort of reneged and went back with a friend and partied again and hit drugs again. And I remember coming back that morning and feeling like I've just let myself down again, and I wanted to really end it. And I picked up the Bible and just started reading, and all of a sudden I just felt this love come over me, and that I was good enough for Him, and it didn't matter what I've done in the past, I could be forgiven. It was a pretty special moment. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Wow. Hey Seb, that's so cool. Can you tell us what's really helped you grow, or what has been something where God has just worked so powerfully in your life, or you've seen God work so powerfully that you're like, wow, I can't believe.
Yeah, I mean, like, it wasn't when you give yourself to Christ, it doesn't really just go bang into something that's amazing. But over the last 7 years, I mean, working away and being very lonely, and really it was a test for me, by myself. And I wrote this prayer down. I thought, if I write this prayer down every day, even if it was the hardest day, I'd just read this prayer and pray it to myself. And it was to find a godly woman, and make a family, or have a family, and just create a beautiful life that I could push the other one behind. And I mean, over these years, it's just happened. I mean, it's an amazing thing, and I love my kids. And
So you met Beck down at the island, or
and had the 2 girls, and
so God just really answered that letter and answered that prayer.
Answered that prayer, but and I look back now, and I lived in my testimony for years. Just trying to get over it, I think, and now it's kind of gone, and I just feel the new chapter is my family, my kids. I mean, even tonight before we came here, they're reading about Daniel in the lion cage, and I thought, wow, it made me just realise how much things have changed. It's just an amazing thing, and I'm so blessed to be chosen.
Wow. Hey Seb, it's so good. Hey Seb, thanks for sharing with us tonight. And I know you've had to relive some of your past, but thank you for sharing. And I know it's grown my faith, and I know it's been helpful for those. Can I just pray for you? That'd be great. I'd love to put my hand on your shoulder, but I'm not allowed to because it's social distancing. But let me pray. Hey Father, we just thank you for Seb. We thank you for Beck. We thank you for their family. We thank you that you have a plan for Seb's life, Lord. And I thank you for the scriptures again and again that remind us there's nowhere we can go to escape you. There's nothing we can do to stop you loving us. And Father, I thank you that we see that so clearly through Seb's life, Lord. You have a plan for him and you love him. And Father, we just thank you for that. I pray a blessing upon Seb. I pray that you'll just bless him and Beck and their family. And we just thank you for him sharing his story tonight and the way that you've worked. Amen. Hey church, it's been great once again to connect through Testimony Tuesday. Thank you, Seb.
No worries.
And we'll see you around. See you soon, church.